As I was saying, Bulkhead, I'm grumpier than ever
Hey, it's Jackie!
I finally caught one of those beasts.
Is there something wrong with your servos?
That's not a beast. Come on, Bulkhead, tell him that's not a beast.
It's my boy Jackie! Jackie!
No, really, man, it was no problem at all. Pretty easy to snag one of these Predacons. Bulkhead, tell him that's not a Predacon. What on earth are you wearing?
Jackie! Jackie, that's my Jackie! Jackie!
Sweet.
Jackie! 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 Wheeljack. This tough-as-nails outer space adventurer is newly equipped with enhanced beast hunting gear.
eBEFOREi video reviews back with a review of Transformers Prime Beast Hunters Wheeljack. First of all, Happy New Year, and in that phrase alone, I've just dated this video about 3 days after I made it. But that's okay, because we have Beast Hunters Wheeljack, and he looks pretty cool in the package. He comes with the disc-launching Falcon Spear. What in the heck is that? Anyway, you got the tech specs on the side. His strength is an 8, intelligence a 6, speed is 6, endurance a 7, rank is 6, courage 9, fire blast 8, and skill a 9. He's Deluxe Class Series 2, Figure 4. On the back is the one-sentence bio. On the side, there's nothing. On the bottom, there's a bunch of other figures they want to try and sell you. So yeah. So anyway, let's get this guy open and review Beast Hunters Wheeljack. Alright, so this is Beast Hunters Wheeljack opened up and out of the package, and while he looks awesome, and I mean this character looks amazing, I'm never going to be happy when I need to superglue a limb right out of the box. So my figure, at least, has suffered from at least some mold degradation. Specifically, in this arm joint right here. When I got this guy open, he was a floppy mess. So again, that's not real cool. That's not something that I want to see in a toy when I first open him up out of the package. But, you know, it is what it is. He's all glued up and tight now. So just be warned that there does, at least on my figure, seem to be some aspects of mold degradation. Now, onto the figure itself. I do think this guy looks cool. I mean, he's Wheeljack, but he's Beast Huntered up. So he's got all these little spiky things coming out. He's got wings. He's got this crazy weapon. So, very, very cool. Now, if you saw my Bumblebee Beast Hunters review, I was really impressed with the way that figure turned out. Both the way that he looked, and the way that he felt in hand, the plastic and everything else, the quality of the weapon, everything. Well done on Bumblebee. Wheeljack, I'm not quite as excited about it, but he's still a good figure. There are some flaws here. Let's take a look at this guy up close. Right off the front, I'll say that the head sculpt on this figure is pretty awesome. I mean, he's got the dark helmet and the gold paint. His eyes are painted this awesome blue. There's no light piping, but the eye paint alone is just fantastic. And you also have some remolding down here on the mouth plate. So he has what almost looks like vampire teeth. I mean, it's just freaking awesome. Comparing this to the way that Wheeljack looked previously, you can see that this one's a much more traditional Wheeljack. And on the new one, everything's the same except for that mouth guard at the bottom and the painted eyes. Now on this Wheeljack, the original, we had light piping, and on this one, again, we don't. So that's really the only difference in the head sculpt. Now, a huge difference are these wings. Wheeljack has wings, and that's kind of weird, but it looks pretty cool, so who cares? It's Jackie! Anyway, yeah, he's got these wings, and they're actually molded onto the back, as you can see. In fact, he's got this whole new kind of back plate here, complete with spines. How cool is that? It's spines! As well as this kind of armor plating molded into the plastic. And you also have that swirled in kind of dark paint into the mold. And as I mentioned again on the other review I did with Bumblebee, I think, and I'm not positive, but I think this is dropped into the mold itself. And so every figure could be unique. I might be wrong, but I think that you're going to find that each of these things are unique on the figure. So we'll see how that turns out. Because of these wings, you're going to find that there is some limitation to how you can move these arms, and that's kind of a bummer. Now, on the Transformers Prime Wheeljack, you know, I used to like to kind of lift these things up and pivot the arms, and you can still do that, but you just can't get any arm movement out. So you almost really need to leave these things flat. Yeah, you almost need to leave him flat just so you can get some rotation in that shoulder, and you're still not going to get a whole lot, at least not with the wings out. Now, thank goodness, as I mentioned, he does still have the same articulation here in the elbow joints, so, you know, that's okay, and you can still get him posed up and looking fairly neat, but just note that you are going to have some limitation up here. One thing I love on this figure is the painted-on Autobot symbol on the chest. They did the same thing with Beast Hunter's Bumblebee, and I couldn't be happier that they also put one on Wheeljack. I never understood why some of the RID original Prime figures were missing Autobot symbols. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm glad that they finally got these things back in, and it's very nicely painted on. Now, speaking of paint, again, you have that dropped-in plastic mold here, so that's not really black paint. It seems to be baked into the plastic itself, which is cool. But, yeah, you've got that. You've got the gold here, which is not paint. That's the color of the plastic. You do have some green paint here and some very nice metallic gold. Metallic gold on the arm spikes. You have green paint right inside of here. You have metallic on the kneecaps. And you've got the swirled in kind of dark bits right here on the legs as well. So that's pretty much Wheeljack in his Beast Hunter mode. Again, very cool looking, albeit some issues with the joints, so there's that. Now, let's talk about his Beast Hunter weapon. Here is Wheeljack's disc-launching Falcon Spear. Who comes up with this stuff? But it's, you know, it's kind of cool. I don't think it's as cool as the Bumblebee Beast Hunter weapon, but it's not bad. So basically, its gimmick is that the handle opens up, and you can actually launch this thing by just giving it a good shove, and there, you've launched it. I guess, and I don't know for sure, but I guess that if this is going to make its way onto the show, what the gimmick is that this thing would launch out and wrap around a neck or a limb or something and disable it so that they can capture these beasts. I guess. I don't know. Who knows? But that's kind of what it looks like to me. Now, an unfortunate thing is that because of this joint right here, you're not going to get a good fit to where you can open this up inside of the weapon and make it look like it's coming out open. So, yeah, that's kind of not too cool. So in order to get this in, you have to put the joint somewhere else, and then it slots in real nice, but then it just becomes really something that he can hold versus something that looks like it's actually opened up while he's holding it, which I think would have looked kind of cool. But, you know, it is what it is. Now, what you can do, because of the fact that this opens up, as you saw in my intro, he can hold it with both of his hands, and that looks pretty cool. I like that look a lot. Now, one thing I didn't show off is that the directions show off that you can peg this onto his back, because he does have a peg hole back here. But the directions show to put this to where the handle is kind of faced up. And I guess that's kind of a neat look. But what's an even neater look is that you can take this and actually flip it the other way, and he's got full-on bird mode on the back of this guy. So yeah, full-on, like, condor on his back, and that is pretty cool. So from the back, I mean, it looks like this guy could literally jump off a cliff and start flying. Yeah, I just made a silly noise. But yeah, that's just really, really cool. I like that a lot. One disappointing thing is that Wheeljack does not come with his original samurai swords. Disappointing, because Bumblebee did come with his original RID weapons. So yeah, that's a bit of a disappointment. They don't fit in the same slot that they did on the original Wheeljack, but you can still kind of get them in someplace different and put them back there. So again, kind of disappointed that it didn't come with it. As is typical with the Beast Hunters line, there's a bigger bio inside of the instructions, so if you want to read them, pause your screen now. If you don't hear anything, you forgot to unpause. Transformation, you know, you've seen this before, but we'll see it again. You got to pluck the weapon off first. And like all versions of this guy, just want to get the arms back down. Just like that. Put the wings down to get them out of the way. Lift the chest piece up. You're going to take the head, and you're going to take this whole plate and kind of pop this out. I will note that on my figure, this little plastic bit right here that's just got a pressure joint on it was out of its little deal right there, so I had to slot that back in. No big deal, but just make note of that. So pull that out. From here, you can pull the arm straight up like that, and straight up. You want to pluck out the hand, twist this whole thing around, slot it back in, rinse and repeat on the other side, pull out, turn, and push back in. Okay? From this point, you could go ahead and just complete the arm transformation, and we'll do that. So what you'll do is you put this green joint down, and then lift this other joint, curve it up. So you've got kind of this pattern going. So get the green thing kind of flush up against the middle section, and then pivot that other joint back up, and that's the way that you're going to get this guy in the shape that he's supposed to be in. Come around to this side, you take the wing bits, and, you know, this looks significantly different from the original Wheeljack, just the way that that part's molded in. So you're going to just kind of put these here, but they do still slot in. So you want to give these guys a good push. Just like that. Very good. All right, to finish, we're going to come down to the legs. And the legs have always been one of the coolest bits of this transformation. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this on the inside. So you take this whole thing, and you just give it a little flip. Pull the feet down like that. Slide this whole panel. Take this whole piece, flip it around, slot it into the joint, and you finished one side of the legs. Do the same thing on the other side. It is really that easy. Then you want to go ahead and peg these legs together, just like that. And from this point, you're just going to collapse everything down, just like that. And you basically have a finished vehicle minus the weapon. Now the weapon plugs into the top, which actually makes this look even cooler, I think. And there we have Beast Hunter's Jackie in his vehicle mode. Vehicle mode on this toy looks great. I mean, really, really looks nice. You've got this in plastic dark bits swirled into the molding, which is very cool. Again, I don't think there's any two alike. Let me know if I'm right or wrong if you've seen more than one of these figures together. Got some really nice dark on this. It almost looks dirty, like he's been through the jungle and captured beasts, and that is cool. Over here on the side, you've got the spiky joints, which are gold here and green on the top and red, and yeah, he's got the Wheeljack colors, but full-on beast mode. On the back, you've got these kind of Batmobile-looking flares that pop out, so that's very, very cool. Again, on the weapon, you can take this off, and you can really get a little bit of a wing spread if you want to pretend like he's full-on in flying mode. It's kind of neat. Yeah, I like that. Very cool. And for those that have never owned the Wheeljack mode, on the bottom, everything kind of tabs together quite nicely, so you can certainly see robot bits down here. A little bit of kibble, but not terrible. Rolls really well. So all in all, I really like the way that this vehicle mode looks, and really, truth be told, I like the way that robot mode looks. I'm just a little disappointed in the quality of the joints, and I wish that the plastic and the weapon felt a little bit more substantial than it does, but other than that, I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. Looking at the weapon detail up close, I love all the in-plastic molding here. I mean, it's a lot of really nice bits. This thing looks like it's just drenched with fur and teeth and bolts and weaponry and just coolness. So I like that a lot. So anyway, that's my review of Beast Hunter's Wheeljack. I have Beast Hunter's Bumblebee on my channel, and in the next week or so, you'll see Beast Hunter's Soundwave and also Laserback. Speaking of my channel, you can see all of my reviews on youtube.com/eBEFOREiNet. You can also follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/eBEFOREi and on Twitter at e_before_i. Thanks again for watching. Your support means everything to me. We'll see you again real soon. Jackie!